You know that feeling when you first get out of bed in the morning and there's this sharp twinge down your lower back and into your leg, like your body is reminding you it's older than it feels? You try to shake it off, you walk around, and maybe it eases a little, but then it returns when you bend down to tie your shoes or when you sit a bit too long reading the newspaper. Most people think this is just part of aging, that it's something you have to live with, that sciatica or nerve pain is inevitable after 55. You've probably tried stretches, foam rollers, maybe even yoga videos that promise relief, but often they either don't help at all or they make things worse. That's frustrating, and it can make you feel like your body has betrayed you. But here's the part most people don't realize. Your body isn't broken. Sciatica isn't a punishment, and aging doesn't mean giving up control over your own comfort. There's a misunderstanding at the heart of most advice out there. People assume that stretching more, pushing harder, or bending in every direction will loosen things up enough to make the pain go away. That's only half the story. The reality is that what's happening with your nerves and muscles after 55 is subtly different from what worked for you in your 30s, or even what works for younger people in general. The sciatic nerve runs a long path from your lower back, through your hips, down the back of your leg. When it's irritated, even tiny movements can trigger that familiar zing or dull ache. The common stretches you've seen on YouTube or in magazines often focus on lengthening muscles, but they don't address the pressure points along the nerve or the way the muscles around your spine, hips, and glutes support and protect it. In other words, those stretches aren't wrong, they're just incomplete. And that's why relief is so inconsistent. You've been told to keep stretching, keep bending, keep hoping your body adjusts. But what your body actually needs is a set of movements that target the nerve itself and the muscles that stabilize it. Not more stretching, not random twists. Movements that guide your nervous system gently, build support without strain, and allow you to regain control of your own comfort. Understanding this shift, why the old advice falls short, changes everything. You don't have to live with that morning sting, and you don't have to chase relief blindly. There's a methodical way to approach it, one that gives you a sense of control instead of frustration. And that's what we're going to explore today. But before we move on to the exercises themselves, I want you to notice this. Most people in their 60s feel dismissed when it comes to fitness advice. They're handed generic routines that don't consider the changes that happen in their muscles, joints, and nerves. You might have even felt that skepticism yourself, thinking, "I've tried everything, nothing works for me." That feeling, while understandable, is exactly why this matters. Because your body can respond. It just needs the right kind of guidance. And that's different from what most people call a stretch. It's intentional movement designed for your age, your nerve, and your daily life. Not flashy routines, not aggressive flexibility work. Intentional, precise, and manageable. Today, you're going to learn 3 exercises, not 10, not 20, that are all you need to start giving your body that chance. And these aren't just movements, they're lessons in how your muscles, your hips, and your nerves interact after 55, so you can finally move with less fear of that twinge or sharp zing. You'll see that relief isn't about pushing harder, it's about understanding the signals your body gives you and responding in a controlled, safe way. Before we get into the how, remember this one thing: your body isn't broken. The pain is a signal, not a verdict. And today, you're going to see that you can respond to it intentionally. Now let's step into what's actually happening in your body and why the exercises we'll do are different from typical stretches. After 55, several subtle changes occur. Muscles around your hips and spine become less elastic, connective tissue tightens slightly, and the sciatic nerve itself may be more sensitive to compression or inflammation. This isn't dramatic, it's natural. But it does mean that generic routines, like bending forward repeatedly or holding long stretches, can irritate the nerve instead of helping it. Think of your nervous system like a garden hose running through a narrow channel. If the hose is kinked, water can't flow freely. Simply tugging on the hose or pulling it in random directions doesn't remove the kink. It can make it worse. What helps is gently aligning the hose, clearing the pathway, and supporting it with stable anchors. That's exactly what these exercises do for your sciatic nerve and the surrounding muscles. Each one targets a specific area where the nerve is most likely compressed or stressed. The first exercise focuses on gently mobilizing your hip joint and glutes. Many people mistake sciatica pain for hamstring tightness, and they spend hours stretching their hamstrings unnecessarily. But the real culprit is often a muscle imbalance around the hip that presses on the nerve. This exercise creates space, improves blood flow, and encourages the nerve to glide without tension. You'll want to move slowly and notice what it feels like. It should feel warm, steady, and controlled, not sharp or burning. The second exercise strengthens your core and lower back in a way that stabilizes the spine without overloading it. Many traditional core routines rely on sit-ups or twisting, which can irritate the nerve further. This movement uses small, precise contractions, teaching your body to support the spine while reducing nerve pressure. The key is control. Exhale gently, engage the muscles lightly, and stop if you feel any tingling or sharp sensation. Modification is simple. If lying flat is uncomfortable, place a pillow under your knees or try it seated. The third exercise is designed to guide the sciatic nerve along its natural path. Think of it as a glide, not a pull. Many stretches attempt to yank the nerve into length, which triggers more irritation. This exercise teaches it to move with the surrounding muscles so it can adapt safely. You should feel a gentle pressure or light stretch in the back of the leg, never sharp pain. If it's uncomfortable, bend the knee slightly or reduce the range of motion. Each exercise is intentional. Each targets a specific mechanism, and each avoids the common mistake of overstretching or forcing mobility your body isn't ready for. Integrating them into your day is straightforward. You can do them in the morning after getting out of bed or in the evening when you've been sitting for a while. Start with a few repetitions, notice the sensation, and increase slowly. Progress isn't about pushing through discomfort. It's about giving your body repeated, gentle cues to adapt. And here's an important credibility anchor. When the sciatic nerve moves freely along its path, supported by balanced hip and core muscles, the intensity of pain signals your brain receives diminishes. It's not a cure-all, but it's grounded in the body's natural anatomy. When you start this practice, expect to feel subtle shifts first: lightness in the hip, a sense of stability when standing, and less anticipation of that familiar zing. These small wins are important because they reinforce that your effort is working, even if the full relief takes time. You're not trying to fix everything in one session. You're teaching your body how to support the nerve and maintain proper alignment day after day, and that's why consistency matters more than intensity. By understanding the mechanism, why the nerve flares, which muscles stabilize it, and how gentle guided movement reduces pressure, you're taking control in a way that random stretching never could. Once you understand the exercises, the next step is weaving them into your daily routine in a realistic, sustainable way. Start with the mindset that this practice is about giving your body a chance to respond, not demanding it to perform miracles overnight. Morning is often ideal because your muscles are more relaxed and your nervous system is primed for gentle movement after rest. Even 5 minutes is enough to start. You can do one exercise at a time or flow through all three in sequence, paying close attention to how each feels. Light warmth in the muscles, a sense of stability in your hip or lower back, and smooth, controlled motion are all positive signals. If you feel sharp pain, tingling, or numbness, pause and adjust, or reduce the range of motion. Over time, as your body becomes familiar with these movements, you may notice subtle changes. Sitting becomes less stressful, bending to tie your shoes doesn't trigger anxiety, and your nervous system seems less reactive to minor twists or sudden movements. These are the early wins. They're small, but they're real, and they're exactly what builds confidence that your body can respond. Another powerful aspect is consistency without pressure. You don't have to perform a full workout. You don't have to push through discomfort, and you don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. Your goal is simply to engage your body gently, repeatedly, and intentionally. In practical terms, that means choosing a time you can realistically commit to each day, stacking it onto an existing habit, maybe after brushing your teeth, before your morning coffee, or right before bed. These exercises are short, controlled, and manageable, which makes it easier to form a lasting habit. Let's return for a moment to that morning sting we started with. Remember how it felt impossible to stand without wincing and how frustrating it was to feel limited by your own body? Now imagine approaching that moment with a different frame. You've given your body repeated intentional cues. You've strengthened and mobilized key areas. You're not promising that the pain is gone, but you are creating the conditions for your nervous system to respond more calmly. That's a meaningful shift. You've reclaimed agency over your movement, which can reduce fear, frustration, and even anxiety about daily tasks. And here's the final piece: community reinforcement. Millions of people over 55 are navigating similar challenges, and when you share progress, adjustments, or questions, even in the comments, you become part of a supportive circle. That social reinforcement helps keep the habit alive and reduces the sense of isolation many feel with chronic nerve pain. So here's the invitation. Commit to this sequence for 7 days, observing how each movement feels and how your body responds. Track your small wins. Notice stability where there was stiffness, lightness where there was tension, and confidence where there was hesitation. Share your experience in the comments, ask questions, and see that you're part of a larger community taking intentional control of their bodies. Your body isn't broken. It responds to guidance, patience, and gentle, repeated movement. These 3 exercises are your practical toolkit, designed for real bodies, real life, and real progress. You don't need gimmicks, you don't need dramatic promises. What you need is consistency, understanding, and small, measurable wins that build confidence day by day. Begin today. Start small, observe carefully, and engage with your body intentionally. And as you do, know that you're not alone, and that each repetition is a meaningful step toward moving more comfortably, safely, and with confidence. Share your journey, connect with others in the comments, and keep returning to this practice, because your body can respond, it will adapt, and you are taking control, one mindful movement at a time. If you want to see the exact step-by-step demonstration of these 3 exercises, with clear guidance for modifications and progressions, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join our community of adults 55 plus, taking charge of their movement and comfort without gimmicks, hype, or unrealistic promises. Start today and take the first step toward a calmer, more supported body.